Yo.
Forced into my mind this made up glow. Now I've set free my mind. I let it go. If this life should last forever, at least we are together. I know I'm not alone. We know it's not a glow. Anywhere, whenever, apart but still together. I know I'm not alone. We know it's not a glow. It's not a glow. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. We know it's not a glow. Spinning ball earth. I now know that you're fake. Deceived since birth. I'm no longer being played. If this life should last forever, at least we are together. I know I'm not alone. We know it's not a glow. Anywhere, whenever, apart but still together. I know I'm not alone. We know it's not a glow. It's not a glow. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. We know it's not a glow. Not alone. Alone. Not alone. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. Not alone. We know it's not a glow. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. We know it's not a glow. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. We know it's not a glow.
Hey. How's it going? We'll do one more.
Watching the sun bake, thinking that it looks fake. All of the skies outside are covered in goo. Smoking a big tube, watching the YouTube. It's time to go in now, but what can he do? Staley's going live again in Centerville, searching for truth and taking some calls. Some people claim there's something wrong with his brain, 'cause he knows we don't live on a ball. Chatting and ranting about the moon landing, community strikes and hate speech on YouTube.
Yo, need to
Such a
connect.
cutie. When he shakes
Brian
Stabley, he says Neil
Great show, my
deGrasse
brother.
will not take the loot. Stabley's live tonight, but not in Centralville. Nobody knows that's now what it's called. All of his subs know he's not gay or insane, but they know he's got something for Paul. Mandela affected, the facts are collected, plenty of proof that our memories are good. Flintstones and flip-flops, McMahon and his true drops. It's a beautiful day now in this neighborhood. Stately streaming truth tonight in Centerville. Karen B on Carl watching the chat. That's you. Some people claim we got nothing to gain, but we know it's still and it's flat. Panama Canal runs north to south now. Most people claim it was once east to west. It's not magic mirror, but we can see clearer, 'cause everyone here knows that we're the fucking best. Stately's premiering videos in Centerville. Might be at work or even in bed. Sometimes he claims he's going live on the main, but he don't. He gets Stately'd instead. Everyone now, he gets Stately'd instead.
Yeah. How's everyone doing? Got little time here to chat. Was just listening to Stavely. It's crazy stuff, man. I'm telling you. A lot of it you could definitely see coming. You know, that Mad Mike, you could definitely see that that was a setup. Everyone was telling him, just buy a plane ticket, do something, you know, just don't kill yourself. And he did it. But look for him in some other parts coming up. He looks familiar. If you look at his face, he looks familiar. I don't know. You know who he looks a little like is some of those astronauts. Like the ISS people. If you look close at him. Can you guys hear me all right? I have no idea if I'm even on. Can you guys hear me? Okay, you can hear me? Yeah, there's something about that dude's face that, I don't know, if you look closely at it, he looks like someone else or some other people. So I would look for him coming up in some upcoming events, something like that. Very interesting. Anyway, that's right, Carla, we are the best. And if people don't like that, then they're probably not supposed to be here. Because this is for the best. Like Sour Diesel. Yo, Sour Diesel, you made it. So I have a link in there. I hope you guys all got the link. It's a Zoom link. If anyone wants to click on that and show me something interesting, today's Thursday. We're gonna make it interesting Thursday, okay? So anyone got something interesting, a relic or some artifact or something like a crystal or something that does something cool or a piece of technology or something like that, a drawing, whatever. If you want to show me, just zoom in and I'll pop you up on the screen and here's my contribution today. This is something that I just put together, and it was just, you know, you see those pictures of the sun simulator, you know, with the, it's, what is it, hexagrams. Hey, Brian. All right, we're going to see if Brian's in here, if we can hear him. Yo, Brian, can you hear me? Yeah, can people in the chat hear you? Now, are you just audio right now, or did you not, you didn't start your video? Yeah, it's probably just using the, okay, hold on, let me pull you in on the call, 1 second. This is, yeah, this is the first time I've used Zoom for a dial-in, so 1 second. I'm messing with these cables, you know. No, they can't hear you. I might not be able to get this thing going, but can you call me on the other number, the 978-561-6168? No, I think it's my cabling over here. Like the Zoom window is not in my cable chain. So if you can just give me a call at the 978-561-6168 number. (978-561-6168). Yeah. Hold on, everyone. Brian's calling in on the phone line. The Zoom. Hello. This is good. If you just go back to the Zoom window. And shut, there's a Yeah, there you go. All right, so Brian's trying to call in. You know, it's the first time I tried that Zoom chat, and I have to set it up to come into my sound stream properly. I guess it's not set up, but I do have the telephone number. Hold on, folks. The chat's gone nuts here talking about bucket bongs. What is a bucket bong? Is that like a gravity bong? See, is that what you guys are talking about? Smoking weed from a bucket bong? Hopefully, there we go. Yo, is this Brian? Is this Brian?
Hi, is this the Mandoozle hotline?
Oh, that's good.
When are you gonna sleep with Karen?
Dude, you wanna come up with the top 10 trolling lines? You know? Just like unload them all. Hold on one second, let me turn this off. Yeah, you should come up with like all the top ones and just unload them, because that it's getting pretty unoriginal at this point.
It's wicked unoriginal.
Unbelievable. But dude, you know, that guy Mad Mike, he obviously people were telling him not to do it because like no one puts themselves on a rocket, right? And he just wasn't listening to anyone. He just wanted to he wanted to do something that amounted to nothing at all, you know? And I kind of was like you. I smelt a rat at the very beginning, I think, with that guy.
I think anybody with any type of discernment smelt a rat right at the beginning. I don't see how anybody couldn't, honestly. Completely ridiculous, as Steve would say.
He actually was not a flat earther, but he took some money from a flat earther to put the name on the rocket.
Yeah, and you know who organized that, right?
No, who organized the naming?
IPS.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, man.
So he had a nondescript rocket until IPS had put something on it.
He got everybody. IPS got everybody to donate to put the sticker on the rocket, and Mad Mike made like $5,000 or something off the flat earthers by putting flat earth sticker on the rocket. And yeah, exactly.
Oh, dude.
It was all promoted. The whole thing. Yeah, the whole thing's been in operation.
If anyone put money into that, they should ask IPS for a refund or something. 'Cause that
Fuck that guy.
dude, they
Give anybody a refund. The guy's a devil.
dude, they come after you big time, huh? It's just like
Yeah,
what's
they're
the
jealous. They have little penises, you know. But
Well-
no, but I'll try to keep it clean, a little cleaner on your channel. Yeah, they're just ridiculous, dude. You know,
the amount of
they're all
time?
haters. They don't put any content out, and they just focus on me, and not just me, Bob. I mean, Bob's been their number one target long before me. It's even worse. You know what I mean? Bob,
Yeah.
Karen, everybody. You know, but me a lot lately, obviously. Even when he did, Nathan Thompson got arrested, so they made a big video on him, and even after that whole hour-and-a-half stream he did about Nathan, the last 3 minutes of it was a fuck Brian Staveley, Ed McMahon song. I mean, he's even got a picture of him curbing me. Like, dude, fuck this guy, dude.
Man, it's
Yeah,
amazing, dude. It's amazing that someone would spend an amount of time like that on a negative energy. You know, just
Yeah.
that must be that's demonic of some sort. You know, like for you to really invest your time into something that's ultimately trying to bring someone down, unless you're like working for some kind of organization that's like that's their goal to just do that kind of stuff. But that's messed up, dude. It's totally
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that people would support that. And they can't see through it.
it's also crazy and that guy Need to Connect was talking about the branding of that donkey sound with the flat earthers, you know.
Yeah.
It's like there is it is like you're connecting this mockery song with the flat earthers, and you know, anytime someone sings that song, they're probably going to think about all the different things that they sang about, you know. It gets in there. It's catchy, you know. They got the harmonies going on that thing, and he's right, you know. It kind of like subtly goes in your mind, but you'll think about donkeys subconsciously every time you think about flat earthers, you know.
Yeah. But hey, listen, I'm going to go eat. I just wanted to test this out for you. So you can't get the Zoom audio working, huh? I'm going to go eat. Let somebody else call in.
Yeah,
I'm starving.
I'll let you go in, and thanks for calling in. I'm going to work on the audio. I was mainly trying to get the video working so I could
So once you get the Zoom working so the video and the audio goes through, I mean, you should probably interview me on your channel so we can get this live stream bigger. You should have way more than 20 people. If we do an interview and I put a plug and come over, you know, there'll be like 100 people here, and a lot of them will come back, you know?
Awesome, dude. That'd be great. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
All right. I'll let you go.
All right.
Talk to you later, man.
All right, bye.
All right, so that'd be fun to do an interview. What we could maybe focus on some aspect of the journey that he's been on. That'd be really fun. Anyway, I've got the telephone line open. If anyone wants to call in, I'm still working on the Zoom. It looks like I gotta figure out how to work that into my stream there. But Tommy, you want to call in? Anyone? You guys are awesome. Hope your Thursday's going great. Hey, Rooster Ninja. Representing D Live this morning. Hope you can hear me, all right? Your love is like radiant diamonds. Hey,
Good morning, it's Karen.
Karen, how's it going?
Good, how are you? I thought I'd give you an update.
Totally. I'm totally interested in what happened the other day.
Yeah, so I think the last time I talked to you was like we were going to break her out of the place and go get her
Yeah.
money, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, what ended up happening was she threw a fit with them because her care wasn't the greatest anyhow. Like, I didn't know all that, but she was being quiet about it.
Right.
So she ended up going AMA. They took the PIC line out of her. She went to the bank. This is last Friday. Went to the bank. Wait. What? No. Whenever. Yeah, last Friday. And got her money out and then went straight back to a different hospital. They put a PIC line in her. And then they said, well, we'll have to send you to another rehab place. And she said, oh, heck no. Not going back to another place. Oh, heck no. So they gave her oral antibiotics for a month at home. Had her panicked.
Wow. So wait.
Yeah, so she got herself out. She took 7 weeks of that vancomycin
Yeah.
IV antibiotic.
And how does she feel now that she's not on the IV?
Oh, she feels good. It's just everything that they had given her in there, like to keep her calm or the steroids or whatever, that's still just kind of working on her system, and she's getting better off that. She's feeling kind of weird.
Wow. How'd it go with the landlord?
Good. We just went ahead and paid it.
Okay. How'd you get the money out of how'd you get the money out of the bank?
Well, she checked herself out, AMA.
Okay, and then she was able to go to the ATM. It was a AMA ATM.
Yeah. Yeah. No, she was able to go to her bank and get her card so
Yeah.
she could do all that. Yeah.
I'm glad that worked out. I was worried that you might be calling us from the clink.
Jail? I
Yeah.
know.
You seem
Anyhow, so it worked out for the best anyhow. And after we all prayed about it, talked about it and good thoughts about it, in her mind, she changed it around to, well, I'm not so worried about it. I'm not, she didn't
Yeah.
even know.
Yeah.
But she ended up dropping her own drama, which is okay now. But she's got a little bit of recovery, and I guess that stuff can come back on you.
Yeah.
But
Just
like I said,
stay-
we're not going to worry about that.
Yeah, just stay healthy, keep the positive, and maybe that's what's happening inside of her. She realizes that she's got to let go of stress and anxiety and negativity in order to
Yes.
get her body healing properly,
Not that she really understands that, but
Yeah.
that's what's happening.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I think even as she, recovers and spends time away from work, just that's when a lot of people take some time to refocus their energies and what they're working on and make some different decisions. That's when a lot of truthers also begin their exploration. Something happens where they
Yeah.
end up at home and spending some time looking into the world around them and stuff like that.
Bless her heart. I raised her out of Phoenix because I was raised here. So I raised them, up north. And she always wanted to live back down in Phoenix, and I never knew why. It's just a convenience, I guess, of everything.
Yeah.
But now it's coming to her slowly, understanding that, it isn't all that it's cracked up to be. And we're gently coaxing my daughter, her dream of living in Phoenix. She's been down here about 3 years, to get back out and get back in the country.
Right.
And when she's not going to have my granddaughter vaxxed no more, so that's going to definitely kick her out of school.
Yeah.
Well, she's 11, so
Oh,
going to
yeah.
be 12, and that's when all those never mind, I don't even want to go there.
Oh, all the vaccines for the girls.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. No,
It's crazy, Christian. I had the mumps. I had the measles. I had chicken pox. I got smallpox vaccination. I got polio, sugar cubes. And they're right. You really love those sugar cubes. And who wouldn't want to have another one, But that would be double dosing. I'm just saying, like back in my day, we barely had anything. And then when my sisters were growing up, they had the MMR, measles, mumps, rubella. And my little sister was about 4 years old, and she got a high fever from something. I can't say what it is. I would suspect inoculation. But, and it put her into not being able to, function totally in life on her own. I mean, she's not real bad, but she has to live with my mom and dad.
yeah.
Yeah. So I fully believe, since I was growing up watching the inoculations and seeing it now, like, yeah, like I'm a grandma, so I didn't have to go through those life-threatening decisions in these last two sets, like my grandkids, my great-granddaughter. But
Yeah.
what they're doing, my God, to even see what happens to those children. No. And people are so fooled by society, they don't have to go work for the man. They can do something else. There is a way, but it's that fear of not knowing what's going to be there,
Yeah, that's a really interesting point that you talk about. When you make a decision to step out of the matrix, it's kind of like you're throwing it all in the air, because you're not really sure where you're going to land and what's going to happen to you, but you're basically saying, this is in God's hands, and I'm going to
pretty much.
I'm going to try to live my life the way it's supposed to be lived, and I'm going to trust that the universe is going to support me somehow,
And it is just true. A person would have to step out on that limb or take that leap, to even test that. But it really is true. And we're naturally doubters naturally. So, it's like, well, if we can't see the proof, science has showed us, if we can't see the proof, then we need to doubt it. Well, no, it's just so totally opposite. And that's where that spiritual war comes in. And we can fight government all day long, but our real war is not physical, it's spiritual.
Yeah.
Anyhow, yeah.
It's really interesting to see what there is to be done. Like, if you step out of the matrix, and I've heard Brian Staveley talk about this at times, people that kind of like check out of the world that's been presented to you. What do you do for work? How do you keep things going? How do you pay your rent and be able to focus on the things that are important to you, while at the same time, kind of working in a space that it's kind of miserable being in, because it just seems like every dollar that you're paying towards the system that you think is totally rigged and broken and trying to screw you to begin with, it's just so hard to keep putting money into that bank.
It's horrible now that I see it. I mean, like, I worked my ass off my whole life, and I got nowhere. I bought houses, and I had 3 houses at one time, but I got a divorce, and, I kept one house and blah, blah, blah. And it just, you know, it didn't even matter if you had to know somebody to get in somewhere. You really do.
Right.
Like even to the post office or Game and Fish, or you really honestly, except for the cops, you can get in on them because they don't care. They'll take anybody, pretty much.
Well, I mean, it would be really hard for me, the way that I've traveled through my like understanding of the world and where I am now, to ever kind of jump into a line like that, you know. It'd be really hard, honestly, to be in the military. Be hard for me to be a police officer, or I don't know. It just
My son was a detention officer, and he was a good guy, but you don't find that very often, you know.
yeah.
And then life happened to him, and blah blah blah. I'd go into it another day, but you know, they made an example out of him for being a detention officer and going wacko because of situations, and he did 2.5 years in prison for being absolutely psychotic, not in his right mind.
Yeah.
And so I've been through a lot of situations. I love to hear people's stories. Everybody has a story. Everybody has something so significant in their lives, you know. Your family is, you know, first, our Father in heaven, but our family, you know, and our friends. And I don't get it. I just see most normal people daily not driving around with fucking guns in their hands trying to kill people, or, you know, it's not really a physical warfare. It's a spiritual one. It's like
Yeah.
I lived in Phoenix a lot, and I have not seen. You know, I've been here a lot. I've not seen any. They make it sound like everybody just runs around with guns and wants to go shoot somebody, or
Oh, I know.
it just.
No,
I mean, even when you're anybody can say this. You don't see people running around with trying to kill people all the time. You just don't
Yeah.
do it. You
Well,
just don't see it.
the guy I know on DLive, Freedom Grower, he was showing some video of the coronavirus scare and all these people going into Costco and ripping all the items off the shelf and everything like that. It looked crazy. So he went down and took a look at his Costco, and it was absolutely nothing like it. You know, it was just people walking around like any normal day. So honestly, all those news stories that you see, all of the how about you ever see the videos of Black Friday with the ladies all ramming into the department store when the doors open and they almost kill each other all? It's like,
yeah, I've seen some of that. Yeah.
They show this stuff as, you know, as this is Black Friday and this is how eager people are to go shopping today, right? And all of that stuff is probably all fear-inducing. You know, it gets everyone's heart racing. Oh my gosh, I got to get there. I got to get to the store and get items for myself, because if I don't, they're all gonna be gone. And it's amazing just how we're being played by the media and the media outlets and all the different
it is
sources.
just crazy.
Yeah,
You see the narrative that's given to each and every one of them. You can catch it. If I don't watch the news, but if I did, we would see it. The coronavirus, and then they say keywords. They all say the same thing. It's just like,
yeah.
People aren't going to wake up to it because people watch either CNN or Fox or MSNBC or LSD or whatever they call it. And I quit watching TV a long time ago. So, and even when I was watching it, I filtered what I watched, and now I don't even watch it because it's all stupid.
Yeah. You know, at school, they got the kids watching the Outbreak map. It's basically a live app that you can get on your Chromebook that shows the coronavirus breakouts as they're happening in real time. So it's like,
well, my granddaughter told me that yesterday. She said Jackson High School, wherever that's at here, is closed down because of the coronavirus.
Yeah, it's
That's
unbelievable.
down south,
Dude,
or South Phoenix.
people have been wiping down this coronavirus for 20 years or whatever. They've been listing it as one of the things that the detergents will, and the Clorox wipes and stuff like that. They've been wiping this stuff down for 20 years. So I guess they're claiming that it's a new strain of it or something like that.
What they say that it has become resistant, probably, like to the things. It's crazy.
Yeah, that it's
Bleach will kill that shit. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's been killing it for 20 years. I don't believe that the strain is now like unaffected. Like honestly, there's some substances that are like bleach that whatever's in there, it's gonna kill.
Yeah. Well, when I was in 6th grade or 5th grade, I had what they called the Hong Kong flu. That was the worst flu I ever had. Well, when I had my children, I had a bad one too. But it was something they released, I'm sure. But Hong Kong flu, I had such a terrible headache for a whole day. It was like somebody would have a migraine, and I can't even imagine what that would be. But, so this beginning of 2019, I had bronchitis for 6 months, and I went through a battery of antibiotics. They finally gave me a different type, and then it went away. And I've been just trying to be really good. I haven't gotten bronchitis since.
Yeah. That's excellent.
You should see the skies here in Arizona today. My granddaughter was even saying, oh my gosh, Mimi. I mean, the planes are just like back and forth, crisscross, looping, everything. I got a video of it today. I'll put it up.
There's been some crazy stuff happening in the skies, not only with the trails and stuff, but the winds, and maybe it's connected, right? Like it seems like the skies get all filled up with stuff, and then the winds start howling, and then my ears start clogging, and it just all seems connected. Like I can actually feel the weather and what it's going to do in the next couple of days, because it seems like a pattern that they're rolling out. Honestly, I think the winds that are really whipping and they're creating tornadoes and stuff like that, I think that those, once you get the particles in the air, you can start moving those particles. You know what I'm saying? You can, with technology, you could get those particles moving. And once you get them moving, you're basically creating a jet engine in the air,
Yeah, it's lit. Wow. So whatever they're setting up, like Flat Accord Music was saying yesterday about the chemtrails he was seeing, like he would see the trails, but then the airplanes would come behind it.
Yeah.
I was watching Mike Morales last night on the Above Ground World News. He does the chemtrailings and stuff.
Yeah.
And he was showing something over California, so I linked it to FAM. But then what they're doing today here, you guys watch out, because they're setting something horrible up. They don't do this all the time here. Not like this.
Yeah. No,
it looks like they're setting something up to become very windy again.
Yeah,
it's not windy here, but it's going to be somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. I think what they can do is, we were talking about this yesterday, the trade winds, when you actually look at it on a flat map, they're just circles that are basically following the sun. So if you have a heat source that's going around and it's heating up the water below and the land below, and it's that difference in temperature that it's creating, which is pretty significant because it's the sun, creates a wind that is kind of traveling around with it. So if you put something up there, I bet you it wouldn't take more than I don't know, maybe a week for that object to actually return. If you could somehow get something up there, I bet you could
Right.
time it with the sun, where it just follows the winds until it comes right back to you. You know,
Right.
it'd be fun to
Yeah.
have.
Do you ever look at? I know Carla does, and I know some people do. Do you ever look at FPV Angels channel?
Oh yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah,
And
that's a great
and
channel.
then God says about the four winds, and up there, this is like I said, spiritual. So it isn't all our military. We don't have enough to do all this in the world. It's got to be angelic.
Yeah,
It's got to be. It is. I mean, what do you think, CERN? Yeah, CERN and all that. Yeah, they're bringing it in, and that's honestly, it is scary. It's scary not for me, but it's scary for me to think about my daughter not wanting to know all this, and then all this is going to happen.
Yeah.
And when it does happen, hopefully meaning whatever is going to happen, that she'll take it all okay, by being prepared slowly.
yeah,
I can't. Not that she's got a fragile mind. It's just, she just got things set the way she wants it right now. And I know that's not how we really should think, but that's how she's thinking. But she is. God put her on like a 2-month sabbatical or a 2-month time out. So what we were saying was like, yeah, it's time to reevaluate things. So
yeah.
this year's going to be all crazy anyhow. So we can daily, minute by minute, something's just going to be crazy.
That's what it's feeling like, and honestly, maybe it's the whole election year coming through people in our family and stuff. How they build up all the divide between everyone in the world, basically, whenever there's an election happening, and it's a great opportunity for the new power mechanisms to shift in. So I think this is a big year. There's it feels like there's a lot of stuff going on, and honestly, I don't know how long they can really hold on to the narratives that they've put out there, because I just, to my eyes, it looks like they're not doing a good job of holding on to the American narrative.
Right.
People are
Uh-huh.
questioning way too much stuff. They're questioning, all these different departments in the government. They're questioning the White House. They're questioning, the sanity of the people that are running us, and I think that's increasing, which is a good sign. The more
That's
people,
a very good sign.
yeah, the more people that are looking through the show that's being put forth, wherever it comes from. It may be that you're a farmer and you start to get a glimpse of how the whole thing's being manipulated, and then all of the regulations that are being put on your crops, and then you start to see that there's a conspiracy of some sort that seems to be out there to get all the farms to link up or to make them so they can buy them up cheap or whatever, and all you have to do is get exposed to one of those conspiracies, and then all of a sudden you're off and running. It's like, well, what else do these people do?
Yeah, and then they're gonna, make the farmers pay for rain. Here, you just buy this, and we'll make sure you have your rain for your damaged crops in the first place.
That's crazy. Like, on demand, you pay for it, and then they like fly over and give you the rain, or they'll just bring a cloud over, probably.
They'll
right?
just bring a cloud over, and there you go.
It's
But
it's the actual cloud. We've been all using the cloud for the past 5 years, but now they're actually going to bring a cloud. I never. Clouds are really interesting to me because, like, it's hard to imagine the volume of water that they'd be sponging up there. It seems like way too much when a rainstorm happens that it's all coming from those clouds. It just seems like the amount that starts flooding the ground and everywhere is just way too much to be suspended in those clouds up there.
I know that's crazy. Like, and now they have, what are they called? Those rain bombs?
What are they?
A rain bomb?
Rain
Like,
bomb. What is that?
yeah, BOMB, rain bomb or something. Like it'll rain and it'll just like pour torrentially in like a spot or something.
Wow. See, that's the kind of stuff that I believe that is not a natural occurrence. It's something like with the technology where you can focus it or something, because that just seems, nature doesn't really pinpoint stuff like that.
I know, and that's crazy too. And like that huge tornado they just had, is that huge tornadoes or something?
Oh yeah, in
That they-
Nashville.
Yeah, crazy. Now, okay, back in the day when I was growing up as a little kid, yes, they had already started messing with the weather, but not like this.
Yeah.
And we had dust storms that rolled in, and now they're called haboobs, whatever. And it just, I've seen it over the year. I see it now that they've created all this. But if they've changed the weather patterns for so long, it'll take a little while to get back to it, a normal pattern like God intended. But I don't see that happening for a minute.
You wonder, I mean, honestly, I don't know what to believe, because growing up I saw big white puffy clouds, right? But I also saw a lot of clouds that were coming from smokestacks and things, that were generating things that went up and it stayed up for a while. So it could be that when I was growing up, the big white puffy clouds that I saw were coming from maybe an energy, like a electricity generation plant or something that was downfield from me somewhere. It's like, again, once you get your cloud of mist up in the air, it's gonna just hop on that jet stream and cruise around for a while.
Yeah, that's interesting, like you were saying too. So I've been trying to watch the weather pattern. I'm not the greatest at it because I have to see it and repeat it just so I can understand. But like you said, to have something and then see something come back around. So it's kind of interesting on that Mike Morales, because he goes through the whole maps nightly
Right.
of the world. And then to think about FPV Angel, how they think about how we are. It's a mind tripping to, we don't know what our Earth looks like.
Yeah, you wonder if all the man-made stuff dropped and all the industry dropped to zero, and for a day we saw what the world looked like just naturally, what it'd be like. I think it'd be very different than today. Like, honestly, the sun feels different to me. The air feels different that I'm breathing. The light seems different. I'm seeing things that I've never seen before, like during the solar eclipse, the big one where everyone was wearing the special glasses to look up and everything.
Huh.
On the ground, I saw some shadows that were so crazy coming through, coming from the sky. Like, if you go and you look at shadows, if you type shadows during the eclipse and take a look, it's like all these semicircular crescent-shaped things all on the ground, and I'm like, where are these coming from? How would I get 10,000 images on the ground?
I seen that once when an eclipse when my kids were young. I was sitting outside in my town, and what was shining through the leaves would show a semicircle
Yeah.
of the sun.
But it would be like 10,000 of them. Like, so
That's crazy.
it's almost like
That's crazy.
yeah, it's almost like it's coming through a gradient of some sort, like a thing with
Exactly.
holes.
Yeah.
And that could be, when we look up at the moon and people say they can see through it, what happens if that moves in front of the sun and now you've got light that's shining through all of those holes or something like that? Maybe that's where you're getting that half crescent, something like
I
that.
don't know. I'm gonna pay attention again. I just watched Crow 777 this morning. You guys ought to watch that. About the upcoming eclipses.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was fascinating hearing Bob from Globebusters talk about the ways that NASA detects events in the sky. And honestly, I remember a little while back trying to look at this information and try to figure out exactly how NASA does it. Is it really advanced computers? And I never really got an answer on whether it was like, and it did seem to hint that there was like one or two people within NASA that have like the secret of some sort, that that have the ability to look at the ancient stuff and determine when
they're being controlled by a watcher entity, probably.
Yeah, it's something like that. It's a weird. Whoever keeps that knowledge, it's really not well known, and they never you notice come on out and like just give out a laydown of how they know it's happening and what kind of math they use. They just come on out and they say, oh, here's what we're going to expect, right, with this eclipse, and here's what color it's going to be, and here's the path that it's going to travel across the thing. But like they never really break down where all that information came from.
Right? So these people that are in control. Come on, Brent. I got this great big Rottweiler. He likes to bark at people.
Oh, I love those Rottweilers. They're so cute.
Well, it's my daughter's dog, and he's just a big old guy. Yeah.
Great
he loves
dogs.
food.
And I had a dog that was like 15 years old, and then I moved in with a guy that had a Rottweiler, and his Rottweiler treated my dog so well. Just
Aww.
like they were insanely great together. And
That's cool.
yeah, Carla
really
is
cool.
talking about the shadows as well. It freaked me out. It was like it seemed like something funky was going on at the time, and when it was almost like vertigo of some sort. There was like a buzz in the air, and I looked down, and all these shadows were on the ground coming through the trees.
That's crazy.
Yeah, if anyone's listening to this, if you Google shadows during the eclipse, you'll see what I'm talking about, and a lot of people saw it. I took a bunch of pictures. I'll pull them out at some point, but I was just bewildered by what I was looking at. So I don't know if all of the industry stopped and we got to see the sky without any kind of intrusion. It'd be interesting to see. Would we just have nothing but blue sky like every single day? Would the seasons be different? Maybe the seasons are being manipulated, because honestly our spring has come way too soon. The birds are out. It's still winter, right? And the birds are coming out. They think it's spring.
I don't remember really very much of a spring or a fall last year at all here. We had winter and summer.
Right. It's going from like blazing hot to like a crapshoot, and then a bunch of nasty skies. Honestly, the skies during the winter and the fall time were really bad. It just seemed like there was a lot of spraying going on, and I don't know if it does also seem to be directed at the sun. Like the spraying that I see seems to kind of crisscross near the sun, so it's almost like it's being put up there to block the sun in some way. And maybe that's the part of the whole
Well,
thing is.
Does anybody else kind of feel like that there's other entities out around the sun that we can't really see, but they cloud it out so we can't see it?
Yeah.
Like, besides this climate change thing, are they really just trying to hide some entity that's going to come in and say, I'm Jesus? You know what I mean?
Yeah, isn't that the whole blue beam that they're
Yeah.
talking about, that we're going to be presented with something in the sky that's going to freak a lot of people out? And honestly, I've seen some stuff in the Phoenix area. Karen, did you see anything that they're talking about in the Phoenix area, like comets or things in the sky?
Not that I know of, but when I was at home a couple months ago, I seen of different nights a blue beam
There you go.
2 times.
Right.
I couldn't say it was where it was coming from. It was coming like from the north and shining up toward whatever it was shining.
And it wasn't
Not
like an
straight
auto
up.
auto dealership that was having like a grand opening.
No, no, because this was real late at night, and I live out where and it wasn't moving. It was and I couldn't get a photo of it. It was just blue, light blue. Where you could see it was there with your eyes when you go outside, because there's no lights to filter it out up there.
Yeah. Well,
And
I've got a.
I didn't know. I figured that was some kind of blue beam darn thing.
Yeah, I've got a buddy that was he's got a friend who lives in Phoenix area, and he was sending him pictures of what was going on in the Phoenix skies, and it was like these comets going across the sky, and that's I think what they said that they were, but they were going at a speed that they were able to like take photos of these things. And if you zoom in on them, they absolutely do not look like comets at all. It's got like it's like a flame that has 2 distinct tails coming off of it, and traveling in very odd ways. Like it's going across the sky horizontally, and then almost instantly it's going down, There's no arc or anything. It's like a right turn, and it's now going down. And, very interesting stuff when you zoom in on this and take a look. But, it seems like all the cameras, you can't quite get the detail of what is up there, but you can see it's definitely not what they're saying it is,
Yeah.
Plus, a meteor would go through the sky at a pace that's pretty fast, right? Like that's like a shooting star. No one's got an opportunity to pull out their camera and just like film a shooting star. You just have to like have your camera open,
Right.
Or
Well, and Phoenix is on the 33rd also.
oh, there you go.
Arizona. Yeah.
There
Mount Graham's on the 33rd. Because that has that Lucifer telescope on it.
Isn't somewhere like Atlanta, Georgia? Isn't that the 33rd?
Yeah, you can see the line of the 33rd just going straight across. It looks like it's all like, I don't know. I just get really interested in maps. But, and not to get off subject, but to bring it right back, because I saw something about the United Nations is down in Antarctica. So I have a feeling that, this disclosure of aliens is going to be popping out quite a bit,
Yeah.
because when the lights of Phoenix happened years ago, I didn't see it, but we heard. I seen a couple weird things up here too, like something in the sky, and then it goes straight out of sight, just straight out.
Yeah.
Not goes out, just traveled straight out. So we got a lot of demon technology. They still had technology back in the day. They knew what technology was. The Watchers, they know how to do it. Believe me.
Yeah. I mean,
they had technology. It's who taught us technology.
that's the secret, I think, to the matrix that we're in, that someone managed to corner the society based on a technology or astrological events of some sort. And once people felt like that the technology, people had the technology to do things, it was almost like wizardry, where they made themselves look like magicians and able to do things like control the weather, and once you demonstrate to, let's say, your enemy, if you're if and this is what we've done in military settings too, like if you let them know that you've got technology that's way far advanced from you, everyone backs down, right? It's like that's what happened with the Nagasaki and Hiroshima, right? Like you show pictures of a decimated city, and you tell people that you've got a technology that will just destroy the entire, the entire country that you're targeting, and all of a sudden the country surrenders, right?
Right.
It's and honestly, I think that's what has happened. Is we're living in a world where there's a group of people that have a technology that's something like up to 100 years ahead of us, maybe anywhere from 30 to 100 years ahead. And they know how to, and we look at things like CERN today and we're wondering like what the heck they're doing, but I believe that those are part of their narrative, that's advanced. Like, for instance, where's all this video going that we're all storing on YouTube and Google and everything like that? They just keep building bigger and bigger hard drives that are basically containing the entire known universe of information, which
Truly.
is like a pretty amazing feat to think about, all of these devices and all the data and all the sound, all the pictures, all being collected and all being stored in a hard drive that is massive, and that kind of storage, it's hard to believe, but it's amazing when you look at the little drives that you put into your computer, that are now like 4 terabytes. One little deck of cards, a drive the size of a deck of cards, now has a terabyte of or 4 terabytes of data that it can hold, which is like,
wow.
It's the way they're rolling it out. I think they just keep giving us remnants of previous years technology. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
we're getting the technology that they were using 100 years ago, right? And they're just
Right.
rolling it out to consumers now.
Right. Because we can handle it now, right?
Yeah, and they want to make products that we're going to be interested in. But there seems to be no end to the increase in storage space in my smartphone. It seems like every time I bring it in and get a new one, they give me like 4 times the amount of storage space that I had before.
Oh, wow, huh?
It's like they've got this thing called Moore's Law, where it's like every 18 months the computing power doubles and it keeps doubling and doubling, like the chips that we're using in our computers.
Yeah.
They just keep doubling and doubling and doubling and doubling and doubling. And I think it's really just they're making products from the old technology that they used to run, back in the 30s or whatever,
Wait. Hi. Oh, my daughter's here. I was gonna. What was I gonna say? Anyhow. Well, I better go. She's here. I'm gonna go.
All
visit.
right. Hey, Karen, thanks so much for calling in.
Thank you, Christian, and I love you all. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we love you too. See ya.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. She's awesome. Anyone else want to call in? Forced into my mind this made-up globe. Now I set my mind free. I let it go. If this life should last forever, at least we are together. No, I'm not alone. We know it's not a globe. Anywhere, whenever, apart but still together. I know I'm not alone. We know it's not a globe, it's not a globe. It's not a globe, I'm not alone. We know it's not a globe, it's not a globe. It's not a globe, I'm not alone. No, it's not a globe, it's not a globe. It's not a globe, we're not alone. We know it's not a globe, it's not a globe. I gotta know what a bucket bong is. Can someone either in the chat or call in? What's a bucket bong? Is it like the ice bucket challenge where it's like the bucket bong challenge? You like put your head inside a bong? Carla Red Pill is a friend of mine. Welcome to the jam room. Who's this?
What's going on? This is Need to Connect.
Yo!
I didn't want to be all stingy and call in again because we just talked the other day, but what's going on?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. I just called real quick. I can't talk too long. I'm driving right now, so I'm not sure how the audio is. And my dog's in the back seat freaking out, so I'm gonna have to make it a little short.
Yeah, I can hear you're in the car. I hear the wind behind you.
But I'm sorry about that.
No, that's cool.
But yeah, the thing I wanted to talk about was the last time that we talked about like whatever. But it just kind of helped me like come to a revelation because I'm sick and everything, and like my stomach hurts, and I've been having to like live with my parents and whatnot. But basically, like off of the stuff you talked to me about, like I decided that I'm just gonna go to my aunt's. Like I can't garden at my parents' house and all this other stuff, and so like I met like this really great truth community, and whatnot, like you and Brian and System Failure and everybody. Like, there's probably like over 150 people that I've been like connecting with and talking to and like watching their channels and commenting and
Right.
whatnot, and kind of checking in. And we're all like truth spreaders. We've all got the same ideas, and I just wanted to stay connected. So like, I don't know if like you're on Facebook or anything, but like I'm not gonna have internet in the future for a little bit because I decided that I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna go down to my aunt because she lives off grid. So
Okay.
she lives off grid and she wants somebody to like grow some food for her. So she said I can go down there and have as big a garden as I can take care of. So I
Nice.
could have about a half-acre garden because she's got a lot of property and, feed other people. So I think maybe that'll help me with my stomach problem, like just getting rid of the anxiety. Maybe my stomach will stop hurting. But, yeah. So I don't know.
There's a lot of truth to that. You may find yourself, the change of pace and the change of location and getting yourself outside and working with nature and stuff like that. It may really be healthy for your rehab from the stomach thing that you got. It may take it away entirely. It just Karen, who just called in, she was talking about her daughter, and it seems like she's as she's recovering, she's becoming a little more mellow about things than she used to be, where she'd stress out about things, and maybe those things go hand in hand, just like a good mental state supports the immune system and kicks things back into normal operating order and stuff like that. My dad was being diagnosed for prostate cancer, and he was going through all these things, and it seems like a lot of just feeling sick got him sick. Just the going into the hospital and getting the tests done and getting more medicines and all of that stuff kind of has an effect on your head of making you like feel the way you think you are, So
Yeah.
It's just having a good positive attitude, I think, is going to be big for you, and unfortunately without the internet you may find yourself longing for the fellowship of the shows and the different channels that you subscribe to and stuff.
Yeah. But the thing is that my aunt and her husband, like, they are open about this stuff that's going on. Like, they may not know that much, but they're open to it, and they know there's like a little bit of it going on. They see a little bit of the truth, and they see like a little bit, like you were saying, like one person sees that there's a conspiracy to close down all the farms, like the real farms, and switch them over to aquaponics, and like city-based farms, and there's like funding for that and stuff. Another person might see like the chemtrails in the air, or the geoengineering, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
They might see that the weather is being modified or manipulated, and they might be like, what's going on? What are these? So like I'm not 100% sure, but I know that when I talk about that stuff, and she talks to me about geoengineering, and she's like off grid and wants to live off grid, wants to get rid of, she doesn't want to go make trips to the grocery store or nothing. So
Yeah.
being around that kind of people compared to like, you don't know my parents, you don't know any of that stuff, but like, they're not like that at all. They're just completely oblivious. They sit down and watch TV way too much, like just freaking like they like worship TV. Like that's like been our like family outings and stuff for like Christmas. Like at Christmas, the biggest thing is that we all sit around and watch. We open presents, of course, and there's way too many presents, and then we sit around and watch television the rest of the day. It's just like no
Right.
interaction with each other. Like turn the television all the way up, and like it's just Like, so I don't
That
know.
that
Whatever.
that's
Not
not
saying
really
that you
positive
can't.
living right there. That's just like that. That is very passively letting the world just wash over you, you know, and eventually just consume you. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah, and I mean, and like it's like the one thing that I've constantly actually stood up for, like, because I will let people walk all over me because I don't really care. Like, I know deep down in my heart I can walk away. I can go outside and I can take a few breaths and I can calm down and I can like see clearly. But I know that the other person, like, over the altercations, if like I were to argue with them, maybe they wouldn't take it the same way. Maybe that would just be like some kind of emotional damage that they just couldn't shake. I don't know. I don't know how other people experience the world, but I know that there's been times when I couldn't take emotional trauma any bit whatsoever, any extra amount of it. So I
Yeah.
mean, I just try to be courteous of other people. And so the one thing that I will stand up for and say, no, this is how I'm doing it, leave me alone, like, is gardening. And I don't know what happened. It's like a different vibration, like the veil's just getting thicker and thicker or something on certain select few people that aren't willing to open their eyes or something. And
Yeah.
so they're just more angry, and like they're still the same people that I've always known and loved and whatnot, but they're just maybe it was just this maybe I'm just not supposed to be around them because we just have different ideals in life. And so yeah, they brought me into life, they brought me into existence, and I'm not rejecting them. But if I can't, I would love to be around them, and I've tried so much. I've tried constantly. I've tried to, slip in little truth bombs to them, but they just always constantly attack me. And like, it's been 26 years of it. Like, not 26 years, but I'm 26 years old, and
Yeah.
like, I've been talking to them about this stuff like my entire life, and it's just always like, my mom will like continually refuses to accept the fact that I remember my birth, like when I bonded with this human body, not the like messed up part of my mom pushing me out or anything, but like when my parents carried me out of the hospital a day later, that's
Y-
like when I started watching the body, and then I morphed in with the body when we got to the car before the car door closed.
You remember
And
all that?
yeah, I've described it to my mom over and over
Wow.
and over, and she knows that it's true because I can describe it in detail better than she can remember, and she just refuses to believe that I can remember it. She'll just always like get like so frustrated and red, and she'll be like, "Stop talking to me about this," and like, "You can't remember your like, you can't remember that." Like,
Wow.
well, I can and I do.
She
Like,
doesn't. She doesn't even have any like more questions. Like if my kid said that to me, I would have like a million questions to ask my kid, just like
Oh yeah,
to find out more of what they know. You know, just like that. That would
yeah.
be really interesting if my kid said that. And I just for someone to react the way that she is, it's hard. Maybe for some reason she thinks I don't know. She just thinks that you're poking fun at the birthing process somehow, or like it's interesting that it's your mom that's taking issue about your birth knowledge. Do any other
Yeah.
people? Are there any other people? It might be interesting because you should ask her if she was, if what she remembers so you could actually share some ideas because she may have been looped up. I don't know if she was in a
Yeah.
hospital and they had an epidural in her or something like that, but her memories of your birth might be very different than yours. Just
Yeah,
like,
yeah. She doesn't talk to me about it because I started talking to her about my birth like when I was like 5 or 6 or 7 years old. Like started talking to her about my birth when I was really young, and I remember I'd always bring it up to her, like and like the more I brought it up to her, the more I felt bad about bringing it up to her,
yeah,
just because like I was never understood why she reacted like that. And so like what I remember was like the point that we were getting carried out. So that was maybe not the most significant point for her. That was the most significant point for me because that's when I bonded with the body. But so yeah, she might not even remember that. But like what I remember is like she was carrying me, and like we were at the hospital, and like we went down the stairs, and like my dad was trying to convince my mom to go down the elevator, but she's like, no, I'm fine, and because she was in there for a day or two before they took me out. And then my dad was just like really excited, and he was like whatever, and ran down and ran up ahead, and jumped on like the rail on the stairs, and he slid down the stairs after he couldn't convince my mom to go down the elevator. And then like he got to the bottom of the stairs before my mom even got to the stairs, like because he slid down. And then he like ran back up the stairs, and then he like had his arms up and was like really cautious and like being like an overprotective, like, you know, like in case my mom like stumbled or anything, and she
Right.
just like walked really carefully down, and my dad held his hands up like just in case she stumbled or anything around like me and her, just to catch us. And then we got to the door, and he held the door open for me and like me and my mom. And then there was this like lady that walked by us, and she's just like, oh, what a beautiful little baby you have there. And I don't know why, but I understood her perfectly fine, perfectly well, just as if I spoke English and understood it. And then you know, we went over to the car, and she wasn't parked very far away from the hospital. So then we were in the car, and she like put me in the car seat. And I remember the car that we were in, it was a maroon car, and it was weird because my mom said that like the only reason that she was driving that car at that time was because my dad's pickup had to be worked on or something. It was in the shop, but we were driving her maroon car, and so that was weird because that maroon car was really unreliable. And like at that point, my dad would have never drove my mom's car.
Yeah.
Whenever he's going anywhere, he would have just always taken his. And so we had to take her car because his car was in the shop for one reason or another.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so like it was just like that. And I don't know. I can't garden. I can't talk about my earliest experiences of coming into this world. And I guess the last thing that I remember was like right before the door got closed, or maybe I was looking through the window. I don't know how but I like bonded. There was like this like bluish white light, like just this beautiful. It wasn't even like bluish white. It was just like just a comfortable like color, like a comfortable feeling that
Right.
like I guess you can't really compare those colors to like what we see. So it was just a beautiful like warming sensation. And then it was just like, and then like it was like maybe a year and a half or 2 years old, was my 2.5 maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
But then I had my next memory, and they weren't as serious after that.
You know,
So
someone who'd be really interested in this topic is probably Karen B. And Brian has had, what's his name? Mike Williams. And he does like this regression stuff that takes you back to your birth, you know, and I think people relive parts of their lives, and it's all really interesting area. I just went back to my hometown that I was born in, and until 10 I lived there, and then my parents moved to another location, so I hadn't been there for 41 years. And I went back, and it was like a flood of memories came flying back, you know. And
Yeah.
I'm like, where were these memories stored for the last, 41 years? You know, I went to the hospital that I was born in, and it did feel like home in a way. You know, it's like I did live there for 10 years after I was born there, but there was something that almost like a salmon, I guess, that knows how to swim back upstream to the place that they were born. But the whole area felt like almost like I was time traveling, you know, and that was another person that was there, and I'm just kind of reliving the movie or something. But it just boggles my mind to know that all of those locations that we went to, and the smells, and I guess the turns that we made in the car, and all of that kind of stuff just felt so familiar that it just was overloading my brain with senses, you know.
Yeah.
it was it's a really interesting topic, and I don't think, dude, you've got a lot of things and a lot of people around you that are not like you know, your family members, and you know that you're in a situation where people are not really supportive of you branching out and trying to figure out things about your life and the world around you. And my parents were the same way, you know. Their best advice for me growing up was toe the line, which is basically like whatever everyone else is doing, do that. You know that? That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
that's what my mom
that
would say
reminds-
all the time. Toe the line. Just toe the line. Just toe the line. Toe the line. Toe the line. And
That
it,
reminds me so much of my parents. But
it's
actually, that expression reminds me of this thing that a kid told me at a party one time, right? So we're at a party, and like I didn't like parties. I just went there just to, like, observe, like, why people, just to observe basically.
yeah.
And so I'd go to, like, parties and whatever, and I'd smoke a lot of weed at that point. And so, like, whatever, that was my thing. And then people would drink and stuff, and like I would just take like maybe 1 to 5 people. I'd pick out like 1 to 5 people out of the crowd and just be like, hey, you're cool. Let's go find like a corner to like kick back in and smoke and talk and shit. Like,
Right.
make fun of people. But any day, one time I'm doing that, and like we're all just like stoners, so like, you know, like we're just basically spacing off and like zoning and wandering in and out and like whatever, dude. And so I was sitting there observing, and like I'm not talking to people because I like talking to normies, I guess. And so I'm just observing and seeing how they interact, and not necessarily judging them, just but like just being like, wow, that's interesting to have that perspective that this person apparently has after observing their conversation for the last 30 minutes, their conversation patterns, and like, because they would like wander around and like, whatever, like I'm just people watching in the corner, who cares? This guy comes up to me and he's like, yeah, what I was always taught was that if you want to be popular, then you just always have to find somebody to talk to, and as long as you're talking to one person, then you're not the weird left out person. You're not that one weirdo.
Right.
And I'm like, wait a second. So this person just came over to me and just told me that random fact because he thinks I'm a weirdo because I'm fucking not talking to people? Like,
Yeah.
Screw you, buddy. Thank you. But screw you. Thanks
Yeah.
for giving me more perspective on how you guys operate.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, you're someone that's independent, and you've gone through your life in an independent way. And there are some people that you know are still in your life that are not a big fan of your independence, and that doesn't mean that they don't love
Yeah.
you or anything like that. They just, you know, like my
yeah,
mom.
it just means they can't see.
They
Can't see
they
the
wish
point.
you would stop asking so many questions and just get on with something like they see everyone else doing. You know, that's the bottom line. And it may be out of love, but like you're respectfully saying thank you for that. I've chosen a life that's different than that, and you know, please respect me. I'm a 26-year-old, and you know, this is the way I want to go about my life. But you know, it doesn't have to be confrontational. They still love you a lot, but I think you're gonna have a great time on this garden, dude.
Yeah.
And even if you're not in the internet range, you should definitely film your process. Like bring a
Yeah.
camera with you, go on down, show the camera the area that you're working with, and clean it as you clean it out, and fertilize it and get it ready and stuff like that. All of that is really cool footage content that I know a lot of people would love to see. I've got a buddy on D Live. His name's Freedom Grower. And if you go to Freedom Grower, he's a guy that talks a lot about what he does with the soil and the way he treats his plants and the different types of successes that he's had and failures, and it's really interesting stuff. Even though I'm not a gardener, I just enjoy people
Yeah.
passionately talking about awesome topics like nature and growing stuff. So your content, you could capture it and then find opportunities maybe to get back into the internet and upload videos and build your channel and connect with people in like a bursty mode where you connect for a little bit, you download some shows or whatever, bring them back, listen to them, upload some content, and then go back to the farm and digest all that, make some more recording, and then bring your computer back in and upload a bunch of stuff, download a bunch of stuff, and then bring it back to the farm, something like that.
That'll be it. It's just that'll be what I'll end up doing. Is exactly what you said, something like that. It's just my content's probably going to be a little different. At first, I thought that I was going to be just like truth bombing and investigating and all this other stuff, but and going live and stuff. But just I can't go live. I'm not going to have internet connection, so.
Yeah.
But so I don't know. It's not. I'm just dropping out of the community a little bit, but it's not because I don't like you guys or anything. I just want you all to know that you've really helped me a lot. You help a lot of people. I'm still here. I still support everything that all of you guys do, but I just won't really be on YouTube commenting and all that other stuff too much anymore. Just because I won't
totally
have the internet
cool,
to do
dude.
it.
I'll be thinking about you and definitely looking for you when you do chime in, and I'm hoping the best for you. So keep it up, dude, and be well. Keep your mind in a really positive state, and keep us posted on how you're doing with your gut. Your stomach issues and getting healthy there and stuff like that. I love hearing updates. So. Thanks a bunch, man.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah. Take care.
Yeah, thanks for calling in and drive safely. Have a good rest of the week and a great weekend.
Yeah, you too.
Later, Need. And I'm gonna have to sign off. That's gonna do it for me this afternoon. Thank you guys so much for being part of the chat. I love this group so much. Karen, thank you for calling in. Brian Stavely, thank you for calling in. I'll figure out the Zoom thing. I really want to get a whole bunch of faces on the screen. I'm tired of looking at just mine. And I'd love to, have some chats going where there's a bunch of people contributing interesting stuff. That was the intent of this this Thursday stream, was to maybe come up with some interesting things that you have on your end that you think might be interesting to show the rest of the community. I've got a whole bunch of stuff, and it doesn't have to be truther related or anything, just anything you find interesting. So I'll get this Zoom going and we'll do it another day. I'd love to. It's like show and tell for adults, just interesting stuff. And I love all the callers and getting updates on how everyone's doing with their situations. And thank you all for listening to the music, and have a good rest of the day. See you.